Hello and welcome to our special show, the finale of the NDTV-Toyota Keep the Hills Alive campaign. Through this month-long campaign, our reporters have travelled through the Himalayas from Ladakh to Uttarakhand to the ranges in the south and finally finishing off in Ooty, essentially to bring you the problems that are facing our hill stations and also the crucial question how we can meet these challenges head-on to preserve and protect whatever we have. Let's quickly take you through the entire campaign so far.
From the mighty Himalayas to the rocky western Ghats, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, our hills and mountains have been our life support, rather our life-saving system. But as NDTV travelled across hill stations in India, we found that our hills are being suffocated, exploited and not really cared for. We began the campaign in Leh in Ladakh. In this imposing mountainous terrain, we found hills of garbage. Tourists flooding Leh during the summer months of April to July leave behind piles of plastic suffocating the hills from within. But deeper environmental issues, many of them man-made, pose a bigger threat. The hills primarily help maintain an ecological balance, but glaciers melting away faster than normal because of global warming have led to changing weather patterns. The lack of rain, or sometimes too much of it, make living tough for those living by the hills and the woods. More so, it makes it very tough for our armed forces to live by the border and protect it. The government of Jammu and Kashmir may have banned the felling of the famous chinar trees, but deforestation is stealing away from the state its treasure of medicinal plants. The lack of forests by the hills also means that infiltration becomes easy. From Jammu and Kashmir, our journey continued to Himachal Pradesh.
Most of us know that Shimla was once the summer capital of the British Raj. Most of us also know that Shimla is perhaps one of the smallest yet most beautiful capitals in the country. And that's perhaps why, during peak season, the daily influx of tourists ends up often equaling the local population here. Now, over the years, clearly that's created a huge amount of pressure on the infrastructure and the resources of Shimla.
Tourism in this summer capital of the British in Himachal Pradesh may be growing by the day, but the little town is making a huge compromise each day. The ridge, a man-made structure, is weighed down by illegal and unplanned construction. One fatal bolt in the region may mean that the ridge could collapse. Like Shimla, Ooty in South India is also amongst the oldest and most charming hill stations of the country. But the real Ooty has been replaced by a concrete jungle. Thousands of unauthorized structures are putting huge pressure on the hills.
The rule is that on top of a hill, you can only have a 30-degree angle construction. But if you see any hill in Ooty, it is almost the mindless construction, almost vertical. Like this particular hill you're seeing right behind me on the Ooty-Lovedale Road, which is putting immense pressure on the hills by construction that's at a 70 to 75-degree angle. Perhaps a reason why there are so many fatal landslides in the Ooty-Kunnur sector, which is known to be in the highly earthquake-prone region.
The Western Ghats, which run from West India all the way down to the south, are among the top 8 biodiversity hotspots of the world. Many major rivers like the Kaveri originate from it, but today it's polluted and contaminated. Human inhabitation has not just penetrated in the elephant corridors, causing man-animal conflicts and the death of our wildlife, but the thick forests themselves are under threat. The Nilgiri, a UNESCO heritage site and home to more than 70% of homeopathic medicines in India, is losing at least 8 square kilometers of its forest cover every 2 years. The hills have been protecting us for generations. Isn't it time that we return the favor? With Kashish and Radhika Iyer, Anusya Mathur for NDTV.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.